In the future, a great nuclear explosion called the Flash destroys nature. The United States becomes a desert where it is very difficult to live, and the remaining survivors have to go to extremes to stay alive. 30 years after this explosion, in a forest covered in ashes, a cat goes to a dead body to eat. Eli is hiding, holding an arrow ready to shoot. When the cat meows, Eli shoots and hits the cat instantly. He takes the cat and continues walking, looking inside abandoned cars to find things that might be useful, but only finds bones. Later, he finds an empty house. He searches everywhere and tries to fill his water bottle, but no water comes from the taps. He opens a door and smells a very bad odor from a body that is hanging there, but even so, he searches the body to see if he can find anything good. Later, Eli cooks the cat, cleans his weapons, and listens to music on his old iPod. The pleasant aroma of meat on the fire made a rat appear, which Eli noticed when he heard the rat squeak. Eli gave a piece of cat meat to the rat. Eli cleaned himself with wet wipes, then spent the night at home reading and sleeping. When dawn came, he saw that his iPod was almost out of power, and the car charger he uses to charge the device was also almost out of power. He continued his journey, and along the way found an old lady with a broken shopping cart who was asking for help. Hey! The movie I'm going to summarize is called The Book of Eli. It's a very good movie that mixes action, adventure, drama, and suspense. It's a great film. This movie is so good that it makes you want to watch it again, and the ending blew my mind. I wasn't expecting that. That's why I invite you to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and leave a like to receive the best recaps. Soon, Eli smelled a very strong stench and understood that there were bandits hiding nearby, realizing it was a trap. The bandits appeared, and their leader started pushing Eli, wanting to steal his things. But Eli quickly used his axe to cut off the gang leader's hand. Then he faces the rest of the bandits at the same time, defeating all of them very quickly in a few minutes, and doesn't get hurt, even a little bit. It seems like Eli has divine protection. Afterward, Eli finishes off their leader, but doesn't do anything to the woman. He holds a water bottle, but he realizes by the smell that it's spoiled and throws it away. The woman asks to go along with Eli, but he refuses. After searching the bodies for things that might be useful for something, he returns to the road, listening to his music until his iPod runs out of power. Walking near a road that is all broken, he hears a group of bikers attacking a man and a woman. Eli feels sad, but convinces himself that he shouldn't interfere while the bikers kill the man, mistreat the woman, and take all their books. When the bikers leave, Eli comes out of where he was hiding and continues his journey until he reaches a town. There, he enters the store of a man called Engineer, who immediately points a gun at him. As soon as Eli sees this, he grabs the gun to show that he's the strongest, and then gives it back, saying he's just a customer. Then he asks the engineer to charge his battery and offers to pay with some wet wipes and a lighter. While the engineer does the service, Eli goes to the bar across the street, where some dangerous bikers are with Carnegie, the boss who runs the town. Carnegie really wants to find a special book, so his henchmen bring all the books they find, even though they don't know how to read what's written in them because they never learn to read. He looks at all the books they brought that day, but doesn't find what he's looking for, so he orders them all to be burned. Carnegie becomes happy when the gang leader, Redridge, tells him that he found some shampoo. Carnegie runs to use the shampoo on Claudia, his blind girlfriend. She really likes the smell and having her head massaged. Eli, downstairs, gives a pair of gloves and a scarf to be able to fill his bottle. When he's getting his things, he accidentally touches a cat, which meows at him. The man who serves drinks hands the bottle to Solara, Claudia's daughter, for her to fill with water. Redridge tries to stop Solara on the way to show that he likes her, but she doesn't pay attention to him and goes to the water line. Inside the bar, one of the gang members gets angry because Eli touched his cat and wants to fight, but Eli just pushes his face onto the counter and tries to leave. At that moment, the others from the gang come at Eli, and he has to defend himself. He uses his axe very quickly and fights with all of them at the same time, defeating each one of them without even breaking a sweat. Soon, all the criminals are dead, only one remains. When he's about to kill the last one, Solara appears and asks him not to do it. Because of the confusion, Eli is captured and taken to Carnegie, who wants Eli to work for him. Eli doesn't want to and tries to leave, but Carnegie insists that he stay until the next day. Shortly after, Claudia brings food to Eli, and he immediately notices that she can't see. He becomes curious and asks about her past, besides saying that she smells good. Carnegie sends Solara to Eli's room to try to convince him to join them, but Eli doesn't accept. Eli tries to send Solara away, but she says that if she doesn't do what Carnegie wants, he will hurt Claudia, her mother. So Eli lets Solara sleep there. Since Solara rarely sees people Eli's age, she becomes curious and asks how life was before the Great Flash. Eli tells her some stories. Solara finds Eli's book and becomes very curious. She wants to know what's written in it, since she can't read. Eli, however, quickly hides the book and doesn't want to talk about it. Later, when Eli goes to eat, he shares his food with Solara and shows her how she should say a prayer before eating. The next day, at breakfast, Solara says the prayer that Eli taught her in front of Claudia. Carnegie hears and is surprised. He wants to know where Solara learned that and gets angry with Claudia when Solara doesn't tell properly. Solara, wanting to protect her mother, ends up telling Carnegie that it was Eli. Carnegie asked if Eli has a book. Solara answers that Eli has a book that he wouldn't let her see properly, but it has a different drawing on the cover and makes the sign of the cross to show. We learn that Carnegie is looking for a Bible, and Eli has the last one left in the world because all the others were destroyed after a great disaster. Carnegie gets excited and orders Redridge to get Eli's book. But when they go to look for Eli, he had already disappeared. Redridge quickly kills the guard because he made a mistake and sends his men to look for Eli. At the same time, Eli gets the battery that belongs to the engineer and tries to leave town, but Carnegie appears and asks him for the book. Carnegie thinks the Bible can help control people and wants to kill Eli to get it, and would let him live if he agrees to become his henchman. Eli, however, doesn't stop and continues on his way. Soon after, Redridge tries to hit Eli with 2 shots, but can't. Eli, already irritated, shoots back at whoever he hears moving and doesn't miss a single shot, while the other shots don't hit him. When his gun runs out of ammunition, Eli uses a shotgun and continues to fight against the criminals, and during this, hits Carnegie in the leg. Redridge realizes that Eli must have special protection and decides not to pursue him for now. Carnegie, after being treated by a doctor for his leg, tries to send his men after Eli again. Redridge is afraid because many of his men died. Therefore, he proposes a deal. He will only get the book if Carnegie lets him have Solara. Soon after, Eli notices that Solara is following him. She says that it was Claudia who sent her, because with Eli she would be protected. But Eli doesn't want her to stay and tries to make her leave. Solara doesn't give up and suggests showing Eli where the town gets its water in exchange for staying with. This place is an underground well with clean water. Eli eagerly fills his bottle and then tricks Solara, locking her in the cave so he can continue his journey alone. But Solara manages to get out of there and goes after Eli, only to find a woman with a broken cart. Solara wants to help the woman, but she tells Solara to go away because she doesn't want a young and innocent girl to fall for a trap. Suddenly, 2 criminals surprise Solara and after hitting her several times, take her to a hidden place with the intention of hurting her more. Her screams make Eli find her. He shoots an arrow into the lower body of one of the evildoers and into the throat of the other. Solara, relieved, hugs Eli in gratitude, and they continue the journey together. Later, Carnegie and Redridge find the 2 men on the ground because they saw birds flying in circles above them. They also see a piece of Solara's clothing and realize that Eli is with her. While they're on the road, Eli hears a bird and manages to hit it with an arrow. He asks Solara to hold his bowstring while he collects the bird. At nightfall, Eli and Solara decide to stop to rest in an old cooling tower. Solara asks Eli to read something to her, and he reads Psalm 23 before closing the book. Eli tells Solara that when he found the Bible, a voice guided him where to go to protect the book and that he wouldn't be hurt. Solara asked him to teach her to read, but he remained quiet. Then, she waited for him to fall asleep to try to get the book. But when she opened the zipper of the bag, Eli woke up and told her not to mess with his things. The next day, they continued their journey and found a house that had a sign written, "Do not enter." They ignored the warning and went to the door. Suddenly, the ground opened and they fell into a hole. The door then opened and Martha and George appeared, an elderly couple armed who have lived there since before a great event called the Flash. The couple asked why they didn't follow the warning. Eli apologized, speaking politely that he didn't see the sign, and then the couple let them in. At first the conversation was good and they had tea together. But then it got weird, because the couple showed the backyard where they keep the bodies of people who tried to invade their house. Eli tells Solara that they need to leave soon, because the man and woman of the house eat people. He holds his gun ready to use if they try to prevent them from leaving. But when they are leaving, Carnegie and his men arrive there driving cars. Eli and Solara run back inside the house, and George shows that he has many weapons hidden inside the sofa. Carnegie, using a loudspeaker, asks Eli to send Solara outside with a book to avoid a fight. Someone throws a box through the window and Redridge goes quickly to get it, but instead of finding the Bible, he finds a bomb inside. He runs to protect himself before the bomb explodes, and when it does, 2 cars fly through the air and several of the bad men die. Carnegie's other men start shooting at the house, and Eli throws a bomb at them too. Redridge, very angry, fires a rocket at the house and makes half of it explode, and Martha dies from this. George, very angry, starts firing madly and eliminates as many criminals as possible, until one of them gets a big gun to try to kill him and force the others to surrender. Later, Eli and Solara are caught and taken outside. Carnegie threatens to end Solara's life, and Eli finds himself forced to reveal that the book was hidden inside the television. Redridge finds the book and gives it to Carnegie, who releases Solara and shoots Eli in the stomach. Eli tries to rise holding a knife, but Carnegie knocks him down and asks him to pray before dying. Soon after he leaves with his men, taking Solara with him. Inside a van, Redridge puts Eli's axe on the dashboard and Solara takes Eli's bowstring, using it to strangle the driver and make the vehicle roll over several times until it stops. While the other cars return to see what happened, Solara finds a grenade, which she throws at the cars to cause another explosion. She then goes to the driver's seat and sees that Redridge was hit by Eli's axe. He is still alive and manages to remove the axe, but as soon as he leaves the van, he dies. Soon after, Solara drives away, and Carnegie chooses not to follow her in the remaining car because he already has the book. When Solara returns to the old couple's house, she doesn't find Eli, so she continues driving until she finds him on the road, still trying to get where he wanted to go. She quickly helps him get into the van, and he uses tape to cover his wound. After driving for several hours, they reach the Golden Gate Bridge, which is damaged and cannot be crossed. Eli says they're almost there, so they find a small boat to row to Alcatraz Island. When Eli becomes too exhausted to row, Solara rows in his place. When he returned to town, Carnegie couldn't open the book because it had a very resistant lock. He asked the engineer for help to open the lock and was eager to read the book, but when he succeeded, he saw that the text was in Braille. From the beginning, Eli couldn't see, which is why he only perceived things when he heard them, smelled them, or touched them. Carnegie, not knowing what to do, asked Claudia to read the book to him. Claudia, who knew how to read Braille, pretended to Carnegie that she had forgotten how to do it, even though she was happy to be able to read this way again. She also told him that his injured leg had a bad smell because it was infected, and that because of this, people would no longer respect him. Carnegie went to look at the bar and saw that the people of the town were taking things from there without permission. Additionally, he saw that his own men were fighting with each other. With all this happening, he became very sad and desperate. Back at Alcatraz, an armed guard lets Eli and his friend enter after Eli says he has a Bible with him. They meet a person who takes care of a lot of artwork. This person has been trying to preserve these works since a big event called the Flash, to keep people's history alive and maybe help rebuild everything in the future. Since they don't have a real Bible, Eli says that he knows the Bible by heart and starts telling everything so that the caretaker can write and make a new book. This takes a long time, so Eli takes a break to shave and put on clean clothes. After much effort, they finish writing the new Bible. Eli, who was wounded from a gunshot, dies peacefully. After Eli is buried in the Alcatraz garden and the new Bible book is placed along with the other works of art, Solara leaves. She is listening to music on Eli's iPod and takes his axe and returns home to find her mother. And so the movie ends. I confess about Eli being blind, it got me. What rating would you give this movie? Write in the comments. And below in the first pinned comment, I'll leave a playlist of the best adventure movies with action and drama. And don't forget to activate the bell to be notified of new recaps. So that's it. See you next time.